always plugged into my house. It's always plugged into my house. But it's always plugged, so why didn't it do that this time?
Okay.
Lights on. Welcome to the February 26th Mayor and Council meeting, Borough of Oakland. At this time, roll call.
Mayor Schwager.
Here.
Councilman Bialy.
Here.
Councilman Knapp.
Here.
Councilman Levy.
Here.
Councilman Pizzacelli.
Here.
Councilman Salamini absent. Councilman Van Act.
Here.
Motion to excuse Councilman Calamini.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, I ask everyone to stand to salute the flag and then remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance Please be seated. This meeting is being held in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Law duly announced, advertised, and posted in the municipal building. And before we begin, just if anybody has a copy of the agenda, we're moving it around a little bit because we have some young students here tonight, and we thought it'd be appropriate to do the students first before the police, so that they could go home and do their homework or study for some tests. And thank you all for coming. It really is very exciting tonight. We have a new police officer in Oakland, so the chief is happy. And we are honoring the Indian Hills High School decathlon, academic decathlon team. And as I announced at the last meeting, everybody's, we do certificates for recreation, for the football team, for the basketball team, and it's just very exciting when we can do something for the academic team. And so this is very exciting, and we're very proud of you, so thank you. The good news this year, and Frank Monaco will be happy to hear this, we're going to have a celebration in the later part of the spring. We're dismantling the Stream House. It's happening. So more news to follow when we get some more, as we get closer to the later part of the spring. We'll have some more information. The Green Team has asked me to announce the following. On March 5th, there are four, we have a flow area, Franklin Lakes, Oakland, Wyckoff, and we have a joint Green Team Film Festival. So on March 5th at 7 p.m. in the Wyckoff Public Library, there's going to be a film on the plastic problem. And discussion will follow the film. Then on March 9th at 7 p.m., again in the Wyckoff Library, there will be a film, Smog of the Sea, discussion after the film. But on March 20th, in the Oakland Public Library, there will be a film from Flint, Michigan, Voices of a Poison City, again, discussion after the film. And then on March 26th, back at Wyckoff, there will be a film called Microtopia, and again, a discussion. More information, and I will announce it regularly at each council meeting. All the films start at 7 p.m., and all are free. A reminder, on May 2nd, in our municipal plaza, we have shredding day. So gather your documents and all your papers, so you get free shredding. And that is from 9 to 1 on March 2nd, and that's sponsored by the BCUA. And then on May 3rd, which is a Sunday, the next day, the Bergen County is having a Bergen County Craft Fair at Bailey Dickinson University at the Rothman Center, and I assume Councilman Pignatelli will have more information on that as we get closer?
Yes, I will.
From the Board of Health, thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
And then on April 4th, Saturday, April 4th, is our annual Easter egg hunt, and I saw something about a train. I don't know.
Yes.
A train is coming.
Yes, it's a toy train.
Not a toy train.
Not a toy train, a small train that children can ride.
Yes. And
Turn itself is smaller.
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 The exciting news is, next week, Flow Follies, that's the two high schools, Indian Hills and Ramapo High Schools, parents of the Flow area, go on stage, they do a show, and the money goes to scholarships for all the, for graduating seniors. And there is one scene where the elected officials from the 3 towns are in, and I will be participating along with Franklin Lakes and Wyckoff elected officials. I was hoping to get some other elected officials from Oakland, but no one would commit, and our scene is called The Gong Show. So, that is at you're laughing. It's at Roundfall High School next week, starting Thursday night. And if you're a senior citizen, on Sunday, you get a free lunch with the show. With that,
I would like a free lunch.
you would like a free lunch?
No, thanks. Goes to my hips.
So, before we start, we're going to open to the public. Would anybody like to speak?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The podium is open. Good to see you, Frank.
Are we allowed to look Frank?
Well, Mayor, you answered, Frank Monaco, 60 Thackeray, Oakland. Forgive me, I'm gonna forget my name next. Anyway, you answered one of the questions that I was sent here for, the stream house.
so
You're definitely gonna start knocking it down.
And we're gonna, you know, like they did with the Tappan Zee Bridge, I could say we're gonna have a big ceremony, the police are gonna guard us, they're gonna have the ribbons around it, and we're gonna stand there when they can't pull it knocked down, it's going to be dismantled.
Yes, I know, because of the asbestos, they gotta be very careful.
Yeah.
That was number one. Number two, I don't know who put the Oakland calendar together, but they did an excellent, I can't believe it. I've never seen such a package with so much that's involved, done so well.
You're complimenting us.
Yeah, well, you gotta earn it. I don't just give them away. What did you do with Frank? I mean, I got you. Get him, Frank. Get him,
Thank you, it was Michael, who was the assistant borough administrator.
Assistant two.
Oh, the young kid.
You're the young
You
kid.
did a good job. I hope tomorrow you don't come in and ask you for a raise. Anyway, putting that aside, I did not get a chance to congratulate your new council members. Welcome to the council. And I also didn't get a chance to say Happy New Year for everybody. So that's another thing.
Happy New Year, as long as you're well.
And don't think I don't use that calendar,
Good.
all right? Every time now I want to know something, I go to the calendar. I may forget 10 minutes later, but I still go. But anyway, Mayor, my compliments to the young Mike.
Thank you, we'll pass it along. You have to give your name and full address.
My full address.
Well, where you're from.
All right. So my name is Anthony Oliveira, I'm a police officer with the Hoboken Police Department.
Welcome to Oakland.
And I just want to say that the city of Oakland is getting a phenomenal
Borough.
police.
We're a borough.
I'm sorry, the borough of Oakland is getting a phenomenal police officer in Stephen Albert. I've worked countless hours and days with Albert in the housing projects. I'm not sure if Oakland has one of those.
No.
But I can say that he is a phenomenal police officer, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy and sad that he's leaving us, but happy that you guys are gaining a phenomenal police
Well,
officer.
you could come visit.
Oh, you guys hiring? Thank you, though. I appreciate it. All right.
Now you know why we're doing you first before we do the oath of office. Anybody else wish to speak? Motion closed?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now we have something very special, the academic decathlon. And we have and Michael Paravati is the Indian Hills coach. And did a super job because this is incredible and we have certificates to give out. And I hope you'll come and help me. exciting to have so many award winners. So Indian Hills High School, which is located in Oakland, we are regional, Indian Hills and Ramapo. Indian Hills, it feeds Indian Hills, Franklin Lakes, and Wyckoff. And Indian Hills Academic Decathlon won first place in the ADNJ Region 2 area. First place in the Super Quiz Relay. Lydia Park, Cora Maya Costa, Ariel Tiquette, Grace Ramatelli, Emily Solomon, Victoria Boyce, Alexandra McCormick, Samuel Eilert, and Aiden Chumas. Are you ready? Listen to these statistics. Lydia Park, MVP, silver medals in social science and art, bronze medals in math, literature, science, music, economics, and speech. Highest scoring player on our honors regular team, highest scoring honors decathlete in the region. Cora Maya Costa, honorable mentions in literature and interview. For Scholastic regular team. And then we also have Ariel to catch in that honors regular team. Grace Ramatelli, silver medal in social science, honorable mentions in essay and literature. Grace. Gold medal in social science, bronze medals in math. Oh, she's well, congratulations. Emily Solomon, gold medal in social science, bronze medals in math, literature, and music. Honorable mentions in essay, science, and art. Third highest scoring scholastic decathlete in the region. Wow. Emily. Victoria Boyce, gold medals in essay, science, and art. Silver medals in literature and economics. Highest scoring player on our scholastic team and highest scoring scholastic decathlete in the region. And now for the varsity regular team, Alexandra McCormick, gold medals in social science, art, essay, and economics, bronze medal in literature. Samuel Eilert, gold medals in math, literature, and science, bronze medals in essay, art, and music, honorable mentions in social science and interview, highest scoring player on our varsity team, second highest varsity decathlete in the region. Aiden Chumas, silver medal in speech, honorable mention in interview. That is unbelievable. And you had alternates. Sophia Wench, bronze medals in social science and economics. Liz Wien, none of them, the alternates aren't here?
Liz is here.
Liz Wiener, silver medals in art and music, bronze medals in science and social science. Joe Park, gold medals in literature and music, silver medals in science, social science, and art, bronze medal in economics. Madeline Ambrose, bronze medal in economics. Alexandra Mazer, silver medals in literature and music, bronze medals in art and economics. And congratulations to Rebecca Bake as an alternate. This is the Indian Hills High School Athletic Department. Picture with them.
Sure. Why don't you guys come on up?
Wow.
Let's hear for them.
I have it over here.
Wait, how do we go?
Mr. P in the middle.
This is Oakland. Indian Hills High School. Want to get in, Linda? You really want me in?
Yeah, you get in there. There's a lot.
Now, the next very exciting thing is we have the swearing in of Stephen Albert.
Don't do it.
And this is, before we do that, we have to have the resolution. Do you want to leave? I mean, if the students could leave. So before we do the actual swearing in, we have to have the resolution read, and Councilman Bobby Knapp, who is our Public Safety Committee Chair, is going to read the resolution.
Thank you, Mayor. You want to pay attention? This is for you.
Is your on?
Yes, I'm here. Resolution 20-91, authorize the hiring of Police Officer Stephen Albert. Whereas the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Oakland has determined the need to authorize the hiring of a police officer for the Oakland Police Department based on a vacancy in a current table of organization, and whereas the police chief has recommended the appointment of Stephen Albert pending completion of the necessary pre-employment testing background checks, now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the Borough of Oakland that Stephen Albert be and is hereby appointed as police officer for the Borough of Oakland, which the appointment is effective today, February 26, 2020, being made in accordance with the New Jersey Department of Personnel certification of eligibles and appointment list, and his starting salary shall be step 6 at $80,320 in accordance with the current TBA contract.
I had comments.
So moved.
Second.
A roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Banner.
Yes.
So, we passed the resolution, and now we get to do the ceremony. Well, you didn't get sworn in yet. As you see, it's a borough form of government. I don't have a vote unless it's a tie, and it wasn't a tie, it was unanimous.
Shocking.
Because he's handsome.
Who's going to hold the Bible? Oh, the whole Hoboken. You're all holding the Bible?
Yes.
It's heavy. Oh, okay.
I can't handle it.
This, we're doing it like this? Perfect.
Great.
Right here. You okay, it's all coordinated? Ready? You're gonna miss this. You sure you want to be sworn in?
That's right.
Okay.
Hurry up, please. You gotta get me out of there.
All right. I, Stephen Albert,
I, Stephen Albert,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and the governments
and the governments
established in the United States,
established in the United States
in this state,
in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
the office of police officer
the office of a police officer
in the Borough of Oakland,
in the Borough of Oakland,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my
This
abilities,
is optional, so help me God.
so help me God.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I would suggest that Mom and Dad should stay here with the photo with the police chief.
Okay, great. Hopefully I'm invited too.
Well, that was a given, that was a given.
Let's do it.
Pleasure.
One, two.
Pictures in our wedding.
Now the question is, who's gonna actually send one to you?
Thank you.
Congratulations, good luck.
So, now we have our regular meeting, everyone's welcome to stay or to go and. I'll see you in Hoboken.
Yes, man. Great job, great job. Nice talking to you.
Yes.
Steve. Where's Steve? Congratulations. Steve. That's a very nice meeting.
Yes, go ahead.
Mayor, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, board, thank you very much. Your new office.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Get away. Yeah. I'll watch out.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks for coming.
Pleasure, my pleasure. Good night, man. Thank
Now, we don't have any minutes to approve, so we're moving right on.
And our computer. I get this.
We have raffle license 1385 for the Indian Hills Parents Athletic Committee, March 21st at the Knights of Columbus, 7 p.m.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a raffle license for merchandise on March 21st, 2020, Indian Hills Parents Athletic League, Knights of Columbus.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Did I do that already? I did it all.
Green team, Linda.
Appointments, now I have that, because that was the order I had it. So now we do the appointments. I have. Okay, for public events, Brenda Grosslinger, for a 3-year appointment. The motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, actually, should I do a roll call? Carol Peterson for Sustainable Green Team.
That's your appointment.
That's my appointment. Thank you, Carol, for coming back. Allison Gleason, Green Team. Again, thank you, Allison, for the Green Team and all your efforts. And Nancy Kraus for the Green Team. And then we have, there was another one, Marisol Kozlowski for the Green Team. Thank you all for wanting to be on the Green Team. Very much appreciated. What did I just do with mine?
Did we do the last
have resolutions, and look at your resolution packet on your computer. We are pulling out Resolution 2084 to approve a liquor license transfer. They're not ready yet, so that will not be done tonight. That will be tabled.
Excuse me, Linda.
Yes.
Excuse me, Mayor. I was looking at all the papers here. Did you do the approval of raffle license 1386, Randy and Bill's parents?
I did, so
You
yes.
did? Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to make sure we did.
That's okay. Also, I am pulling out 2087, authorized Boswell Alternative Analysis Patriots Way Bridge. We've been told that we'll be working with the state and the county, so that's going to be held until we have more information on that. Okay, I will read the rest, and if there's any others to be pulled out, you will tell me. Resolution 2086, you want to do
I
it
do
before I
wanna
read the
pull two.
list?
Oh, okay, you want to do list, that's fine.
I'll pull them out now, 97, 90, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
97 and 98. Okay. So, 2086, authorized Boswell 2020 road program, and that's from a proposal submitted January 30th, 2020, for a fee of design phase 46,300, construction phase 107, 107,000, for a total 153,300. 2087 has been pulled. 2088 is called In Ram Foreclosure Block 5002, Lot 38, and that's a summary proceeding in Ram. 2089 is to approve the recreation bylaws that are attached and was attached to your packet. 2019 is to authorize consent to TWA application A&E Ventures located at for a malfunctioning septic system facility located at 101 Plaza Road. 2092 is to authorize the AFG application for SCBA packs. That's the Oakland Fire Department needs to purchase 34 new SCBA packs at a unit price of $6,500 each. There's a firefighters grant program which would assist in the purchase, and the application to be submitted to FEMA. A requested funding amount of $210,476.19. 2093 is the authorized grant application for fire prevention, and it assists in fire prevention, and we're authorizing an application to be submitted to FM Global with I can't speak tonight, sorry, with a requested funding amount of $6,520.50. Resolution 2094, authorized separation payment of T. Bauer, that's Tiffany Bauer, who had accumulated time for sick, vacation, personal compensatory time of $3,357.66. 2095, authorized purchase radio equipment Motorola, and it is for its radio communication system. Proposal dated January 16, 2020, the amount of $173,335.70. Motorola Solutions has a state contract number 83909. Resolution 2096 is to appoint an account clerk, and she will be going into the finance department. As you know, Jerry Engelmuller is retiring, and this is Tracy Saliani, who's been working in the recreation, and now she's going to be moving upstairs into the finance department, effective April 1st, 2020, full-time, at a salary of $41,000. 2099 is to authorize the Bergen County freeholders to utilize council chambers. This will be on April 1st, 2020, and as you've been reading, and we've mentioned this before, the freeholders is taking their show on the road, and they go around to different towns, and they will be meeting on April 1st right here in Oakland. 2100 is to authorize a salary increase for our CFO pursuant to the employment letter that we had. He's due to a $5,000 pay increase effective January 26, 2020. His salary will be $97,000. 2101 is to authorize a grant agreement Phase 3 flood acquisition. It's called the 2019 Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund, Lenape Lane Flood Buyout Project Phase 3.
Mayor,
Yes,
could we have a discussion on that when you,
so I'll pull that out.
please?
2102 is Director of Division of Local Government Services, to approve the insertion of any special item of revenue in the budget. We received notification of a grant in the amount of $2,850.17 from the state for the purchase of body armor replacement, and so we have to amend the 2020 budget. 2103 is authorized refund of taxes due duplicate payment. This is for block 5409/18. That is 23 Dakota Avenue, and it is the amount of $2,349.21, and it is to go to Title Mark LLC, 178 Dayton Street, Ridgewood. As you know, when there's a closing and it's around the time that taxes are due, sometimes there is double payment. And with that, is there a motion for the consent agenda? Minus Resolution 2101, 2097, and 2098.
So moved.
Second? Any discussion?
Wait, Pat had.
And I had one too, right?
101,
101's yours.
I'm sorry.
Second.
Sorry.
roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Van App.
Yes.
So now we go back to Resolution 2097, authorize agreement with our borough engineer for the services of borough engineer in 2020. It'll be Boswell Engineering, and for a contract not to exceed $25,000 retainer and $10,000 allowance for minor engineering projects billed on a time and material basis without further authorization from the governing body. And the chief financial officer certified the funds are available. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor.
Yes.
And just to save everybody's time to discuss 97, I'm sorry, to save everybody time just for the discussion of 2097 and 2098, you know, as you all know, I have objections and concerns about Oswald's operating within the borough for the past year or so. I cannot in good conscience vote for them to be our borough engineer. And that's it.
Okay,
And this
thank
is
you.
no reflection, by the way, on John Yakimic, who I think has actually done a wonderful job for us, and we're very lucky to have him here.
Thank you. Anybody else?
You're buying me a drink later.
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
So I'm going to vote yes, but I'm going to put a stipulation in there that, you know, I kind of agree with a lot of what Lou said, and just as long as we keep better track of the records, the invoices, and so on, then, and I'm going to vote yes for this year, and we'll see what happens going forward. But I also want to say, John Yakimic has been above outstanding for the borough, so again, no reflection on him.
Thank you.
You owe me a drink for him, too.
Okay, so we have two votes.
Councilman Levy.
No.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
I want to add as well, to share some of the concerns that Councilman Knapp has in being new to the council and having the opportunity to serve the taxpayers here in Oakland, have a better understanding and of the concerns that were raised by Councilman Levy, and have an opportunity to talk about the concerns that were raised. So something to look into over the course of the year. I don't feel like I had time to accurately process the concerns that Councilman Levy had and listen to the side of Boswell Engineering. So as a result of that, I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Okay, thank you. Who's left?
That's it.
Oh, can you tally?
It was 4 yes, 1 no, 1 abstention.
So the abstention goes with the
I mean,
majority.
three.
Goes with the
Yes.
majority.
Right, it
Yeah.
goes with the majority, that's why I asked for the tally.
Mhm.
Resolution 2098, authorized agreement for water and sewer engineer for Boswell Engineering, not to exceed $20,000 without further authorization of the governing body.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes, with the same stipulations.
Councilman Levy.
No, with the same stipulations.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Van Ack.
Abstain for the same reasons I had explained.
And the tally?
3, 1 no, one abstention.
Right, and the abstention goes with the majority. All right, now Resolution 2101, which is authorized grant agreement 2019 Bergen County Open Space Trust Fund, Lenape Lane Flood Buyout Project Phase 3. I said that. Okay, so
Yes.
you pulled it.
Yes, Mayor, it's not that I'm against it, because some of these homes probably never should have been built in the first place in this area, but for the benefit of our new Councilman Grant Van Eck, and I don't know if Councilman Levy knew this, but once we do the buyouts, we lose those properties off our tax rolls.
I know it.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
mean,
just
that's-
letting people know who might not know, you know, I'm not that I'm against it, I'm for it, but I want people to understand that when they're demolished, we lose that property off of our tax base.
But they can't keep getting flooded over and over.
No,
again.
I agree, I'm just saying, I just want people to know
Right.
that, you know, we're probably losing, all told, maybe $1 million in taxes.
Yeah. Yes.
If I may,
Councilman?
Mayor. You know, and I understand what you're saying, but
70.
the good
No,
news.
about 100,000, I'm sorry, not $1 million, about 100,000.
The good news for the borough is that, you know, while it's true these properties can never be built again, these properties can be used and are intended actually to be used for public use. So the borough, excuse me?
Passive recreation.
Yes, for passive recreation. Because they're in a flood zone, there are, you know, many things that we can't do with them as far as constructing anything or certain types of uses. But, you know, we do give residents better access to probably one of our best natural assets, the Ramapo River.
Correct.
The fishing and the recreation, you know, I guess the environmentally sensitive recreation that comes with it. And I do understand that it is a loss, but it's also, you know, a burden on the town every time it floods.
Sure.
And we have to expend our resources to do street cleanups and, you know, have dumpsters out there for these people's homes.
And we put our emergency services in jeopardy, too.
Every time we do it, you know, so it is a little bit of a burden, I agree, but I think it's a fantastic program for anybody, you know, who chooses to avail themselves of it.
Correct, I agree.
Anybody else? Okay, so we have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Nat.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Van Eck.
Yes.
We're just going to do the introduction of ordinance 20 Code 805 prohibits short-term rentals.
Mayor, I'd like that tabled to another meeting. I have some suggestions and ideas for that ordinance as opposed to the way it's written now. I'd love to have that opportunity to provide those recommendations and
Is
suggestions.
there a second?
Second?
Once the motion is made, once a motion to table is made, there's no further discussion and it's a roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Nat.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Van Eck.
Yes. Thank you.
My suggestion is, why don't you speak to Councilman Van Eck afterwards? Okay. And final adoption of 20 Code 803 Affordable Housing Settlement. Your motion to open to the public.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone wish to speak on this? Motion to close.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adopt.
So moved.
Second?
Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Nat.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Van Eck.
Yes.
All right, we have some items, discussion of the county reval, that's what you're up, yes.
Thank you, Mayor.
So just introduce yourself to everybody on the television, so they know who
Sure,
you are.
okay. Scott Holzhauer, I'm the tax assessor. I've been the assessor in Oakland for 21 years, but I've worked in Oakland since 1986 as in the capacity of helping the assessor, the appraisal expert, different hats. Oakland received an order to conduct a full-scale revaluation. This is something that the county board has established procedures that they follow. There's a few statistical checkpoints that they look for before they order a town to do a revaluation. One is that it's been 10 years since your last reval. Another is that your town's average ratio has dipped below 85%.
Could you explain that?
Yeah, the ratio is a study that's conducted, the state of New Jersey looks at a one-year sample. Their sample period goes from July 1st to June 30th of the pre-tax year. and they take a look at the average ratio, which is the ratio of the assessment to the sale price, and they average that all together. They come up with a composite ratio for the year. And all, the way it's kind of complicated, they weight it based on property class, and then they take the resulting answer and they average that with the answer that they got the year before. So in any one given year, the ratio is really not actually what's going on, because it's got tentacles from prior samples. State does it that way to effectively block significant changes from one year to the next based on just an aberration in the market, whether it be plus or minus. That's why they throw the average of the year before in as well. But that said, the ratio that the state conducted this year, and that becomes the ratio that the county tax board also uses for equalization of the county tax burden.
Another way for the county to get more money.
Well, not necessarily, because what happens is when the town does, or a municipality does a revaluation, and when it's all said and done, the county employs what's called a page 8 formula, and it's a stupid name for it, but it happens to be on page 8 of their regulations, so it's always been referred to.
Very creative.
Very creative. And effectively what they do is they take the resulting new rateable value that the municipality has after the revaluation is conducted, all the values add together. So there's that number. They take the existing number that existed prior to the revaluation, and they take the ratio that the state came up with prior to the revaluation. They come up with a ratio to equalize that, and then they divide that into the new number. And what it effectively does is it doesn't allow a town to benefit by being the only town in the county that does a reassessment or a reval in a declining market, and they lower their assessments, but everybody else doesn't. They don't get the benefit of coming in with a lower value for their share of county taxes. So effectively, the county statistically found a way to, through a lot of mumbo jumbo, quite frankly, to, when the values are going up, to not also penalize a town that does a revaluation, again, when other towns don't do it. The ratio has a way of bringing that back down, or bringing the town that declined, equalizing them up to a higher number that's not real. That's the way it works. I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Not an easy thing to wrap your mind around.
No, it's not, okay? I'm still on the page 8 labeling aspect. But a little, and I've talked to the administrator for a while about this. To be honest, I thought the reval order was coming at least a year or more ago, and because of the way the ratios are actually calculated, one or two commercial sales that didn't pan out well in terms of comparison to their assessment actually helped our overall ratio, oddly enough, and staved off. I thought this was happening a year ago, and I had told Rich in the budget meeting to prepare for this, but then we ended up with a ratio that actually checked up just a little bit. That was an aberration, and because I see what happens to the residential properties are coming in, and most of the residential properties are selling in the 70% range of what their assessment to market value.
When you say ratio to sale price, is that the assessed value to the sale price?
Yeah. So properties essentially are selling, on average, 30% more than what their assessments are, roughly, But the ratio doesn't truly reflect that, but nonetheless, it has now dipped down below one of the county's bellwether parameters, and the fact that we haven't had a full-scale revaluation since 2005 really put us on the hit list. I'm glad it didn't happen sooner, but it's here now, and something that was not a possibility as far as I was concerned until somewhat recently. I'm not a fan of a program called an annual reassessment. I've actually written a position paper for the Assessors Association against it. I've written a very detailed memo to Rich many years ago when he asked me about it. And I've always lobbied against it because I think it's been abused and not conducted properly in the past. That said, I wasn't involved in those projects.
Now, do we get a choice of who does the assessment?
Yes, and I'll get to that in a second. So part of the reason I'm here tonight is to actually ask the governing body to support me going to the County Board of Taxation to ask them to change their revaluation order to a reassessment order, followed by an annual reassessment for a 5-year period.
And how does that benefit
It
us?
saves us a lot of money, doesn't it?
So
A
the way it
substantial,
works.
a lot of money.
Yeah, the revaluation is a very costly project. It involves a redo, essentially a recertification of the tax map, which is a very expensive prospect. That in a reassessment, the map is accepted as is, as long as it can be shown that it's been reasonably well maintained over the years, which ours has been. There are some other differences, but primarily the big difference is the cost. In a program like this, a reassessment, revaluation is essentially a full package program that is delivered to the town, and me as the assessor, I basically serve as sort of as a monitor of the project. In a reassessment program, the assessor is actually the point person in the program, and the company is hired to support the assessor. Effectively, I mean, they do the inspections, they do a lot of the work. I have a much heavier hand in setting the values. I don't just basically make sure that they followed the general appraisal parameters, which is how the reval is done. Now I'm part of that process to help, instill some local knowledge into the company that's doing it.
And I know it saves us a lot of money.
It does, some estimates, okay, based on what it has cost per line item in other municipalities, and what I've seen, figuring in the tax map component, which I've also am familiar with and with that. And so revaluation is probably going to cost pushing in the $600,000 range. A reassessment done with a following annual program, and the annual program is for a set 5-year period. It doesn't run into perpetuity. It's a reassessment followed by a 5-year annual reassessment program. The initial year, the values are all done almost like a regular, or actually like a regular revaluation. All the properties are revalued and new assessments are established. That program might cost in the $250,000 range. And then each ensuing year might cost somewhere in the $50,000 to $60,000 range for the annual reassessment. The purpose of the annual reassessment, and just for a little history, the mayor would know this, and Councilman Bialy would too. Oakland has had bad luck, as it turns out, when reval orders come. Just the luck of the draw. I looked back just to verify. The last revaluation, well, 2 revals ago, one that I was involved with, I was a project supervisor for the company that did it. It was conducted in 1986, implemented for 1987. 10 months later was Black Monday, for those who remember, the 22.5% drop in the stock market on one day, and a recession, followed almost instantly. So Oakland's values were, like everybody else, was at jeopardy. We just happened to put our property assessments on at the absolute peak of the market. When they went on, absolute peak of the market. And so we took major hits in terms of tax appeal losses, and finally were able to convince the county to there really wasn't a great concept of a reassessment program at the time. But in 1994, Bergen County kind of turned their head and coughed. They just kind of looked away and let it happen. And so Oakland was able to effectively readjust the values to stop the bleeding from the decline in the market. So then we move ahead. In 2004, we have a revaluation order, and the reval is implemented for 2005. The market was already starting to crash by 2006, but by all accounts, 2007 was the year the recession started. And so again, I'm the assessor now during this period, and Oakland took some serious hits, high volumes of appeals, and we did a reassessment in 2011 to effectively lower the residential values, which were the brunt of the appeals that we were getting. We were still getting commercial appeals too, but commercials operate differently than residentials do. They're very different. Residentials are extremely sensitive to excuse me. Knew this would happen.
It's very dry in here.
Water.
So I can just get a
It gets very dry in here.
Fighting some allergies too right now.
I was told that a reval would be way over 600,000. That came in low.
You
know what, the numbers are-
I'm not trying to
My husband
underestimate.
told me
I'm-
close to 8 to $1 million.
You know, I don't think it would be that high, but I don't want to undersell it either. I mean, I'm not speaking for the companies that do this, but the benefit of doing an annual program after a reassessment is that it would, you know, here we are now, 2020, in a presidential election year. Who knows how that may turn out? We've got the threat of a pandemic going on now, and I see it's kind of like I've lived already 2 times where I've been part of a reval, a big project that has been followed by a disaster.
How long do they give us when they give us the reval order? What is the time frame?
Well, the reval order is to be is for us to do the job
I
this
know, but
year.
how long does it take to do the full reevaluation?
Well, it'll take the better part of, if a company started, because of Oakland's size and depending on the company and the resources they deploy, a job can be conducted and completed in 8 to 10 months if need be. But already, we're basically March now. So as a functional matter, as a revaluation, we wouldn't be able to most likely implement it because a tax map would have to be approved before the Division of Taxation would even allow the reval contract to be executed.
So you're asking us to authorize you to go to the county?
To go to the county tax board.
Basically appeal the reval and go into
Ask them to change it
assessment.
to a reassessment, which takes
To amend it.
which benefits us a lot. The benefit of the annual program that goes afterward is effectively all values are looked at. Again, in the first year after the revaluation, the only inspections that are done on properties, re-inspections, are for properties that weren't inspected during this year, during the reassessment. So another attempt to try to get into them, and also the company would go and look at the sales that have occurred because that's the most germane information for us to use to value property.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I thought a reassessment is a drive-by and a reval is a visit to the home.
Yeah, our reval, and Rich heard me coin the term, when we did it our reassessment, when we did it in 2011, there really weren't good regulations in effect at the Division of Taxation.
So we did a drive-by.
It was prior to, they were knock-and runs. And we didn't use the term drive-by, but basically somebody knocked on the door, I knocked once, I didn't hear anything, I ran to the next house. And that's kind of how it was done. Not many homes were inspected. And that really kind of did a disservice.
So not now, they don't do that?
No, in a reassessment, it's 2 physical attempts to inspect the property, followed by a letter if those 2 attempts don't work. So, which is similar to what a revaluation is, same thing. The county board and/or state would be looking for something close to 90% entry ratio.
So you said $250 for the first year, and then $50 to $60 for the subsequent 4 years, which comes to $490,000 or $500,000 versus $600,000.
I think it's 1 in 6 though.
Yeah, so it's a cheaper option, it's spread out more, and it allows us that, God forbid,
big of an
the
impact on the
market
budget.
collapses a year or so after we do the reval,
Right.
and now we're stuck and we don't have any mechanism to change that. I
Reassessment
don't need to
we
get permission to go to the county to do it because we would be on a cycle where as long as the county sees that we're inspecting, the regs say you have to inspect 25% of your properties a year to be able to qualify for that annual reassessment. And Richard made a good point, and I agree with it 100%. After you do a full reassessment where you've just gone out and inspected the whole town, to then less than a year later be knocking on 25% of the doors, again, seems useless. So it would be better to stretch that to a fifth year and allow that first year to be kind of a year where the reval breathes a little bit and we actually can see what happened and just focus on the things that we didn't do or the mistakes and sales and leave it at that, and then start the 25% inspection per year in years 2 through 5.
So the past revals, we didn't have to do the 1 and then another 4 years.
Well, the past revals were one and done.
One and done.
So what do we do now?
Well, if I can too, just to kind of expand on what Scott's been saying. From the budget perspective, the state, even if we were to do a reval, the state does let you pay for that over 5 years. It's called a 5-year special emergency. That's the way it was handled in the past to kind of spread out that cost and the impact on the budget. So you want to look at what's your total cost over that 5 years, and it does seem like a rolling reassessment program would be somewhat cheaper. The other thing that Scott and I talked about was the secondary benefit, if you will, of there not being as many appeals coming out of the process as well. And we reserve every money for tax appeals. We spend money every year on tax appeals. And coming out of a reval, when you have a lot of appeals, that can be burdensome as well.
So we save the money for the attorney for doing the revals.
Well, right, sorry. Megan.
Thank you.
But yeah, so that's something else to factor into here. That under a rolling reassessment program, you're not as likely to have a high volume of tax appeals.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think more importantly, what Scott said, what you're guaranteeing yourself, you're not gonna get hit by some national disaster or some national economic turndown that's gonna make your assessment completely not viable in the same order that you would get with a one-shot deal and you're done, and now you're hurt for the next maybe 10
Just
years.
seeing how this is all laid out, it feels like Groundhog Day, seeing that, I'm gonna be in Oakland for potentially my third reval, right at a time that seems fairly volatile.
Right.
Scott, what happens after the rolling program ends?
At that point, I guess it would be in year 4 or 5, we would have the option to renew that. We'll have a long sample period to see how that worked for us.
Okay.
And at that point, some towns are opting to just simply roll that into another annual reassessment, but without the cost of the initial reassessment now. Now they just keep it that 55, whatever number is going forward. Some towns say, you know what, it really kind of depends on who the governing body is at the time, the finance, there's just a lot of variables. But the option to just continue to roll that to the next program is there.
Do some towns just say, okay, we're done, and just wait for the county to ring your bell again?
Yes, some towns do. Other towns have opted to just keep that program rolling because they look at it just from the standpoint of being able to, at any given year, adapt to a big market swing.
Yeah. Adapt to the circumstances in place. So that's what you want to do.
And what it does too is it really gives the assessor and the attorney, the municipality, a lot of leverage in appeals. Even if appeals are filed with the idea that we're changing the values, potentially changing the values each year, a lot of the appeals that are even filed can sometimes be made to go away with an understanding that this is how we're going to assess you next year, and we're just going to roll it into that. And when it's only a one-year deal, the thing that makes appeals sexy for the attorneys is because they become multi-year problems, and we've had some of those in Oakland on some big properties that have cost the borough a lot of money because it adds up over the years. That's something an annual reassessment should, for all intents and purposes, really nip in the bud.
So now what do we need to do? What is that?
We have a resolution to.
I don't think we need a resolution. I think
yeah.
just, Naomi, what do you think, some sort of a motion?
I would just do a formal motion authorizing him to talk to, I
The
think it's
county
Bob Layton.
board has their meeting next week, and that was part of the reason Rich squeezed me on tonight, is I could go to them early and pitch this idea to
I'll make
change
the
it.
motion.
Second.
All right, so you want to read the motion? Want to read the motion?
Naomi, I think you're gonna have to just kind of.
The motion, Scott, is to authorize you to go to the county tax board in order to discuss a reassessment versus revaluation, correct?
With an annual
With an annual.
program following.
That was my motion. Thank you.
Excellent.
I was gonna
Any
do the
further
same one. I
discussion?
can't believe it, you guys stole it.
Okay, roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Knapp.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pignatelli.
Yes.
Councilman Van App.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Good luck.
I'll
Thank
keep
you.
posted.
No,
Oh, yeah,
thank
please,
you.
good luck.
When are you gonna open that to the public?
No, that was a work session.
We're gonna have an open.
Not for him.
No.
No, during work session. I mean, during open portion.
I'll be gone. We go through this all the time. You bring in these experts, nothing.
No, this was our work session. This was an added work session.
Scott, thank you.
Does anybody mind if we let Frank speak?
No.
All right, Frank, come speak.
I
While you're
motion to
still
let
here.
Frank speak.
Stick around.
Scott,
All
You
in
want me to
favor?
stay?
Run. You weren't
No,
finished.
no, okay.
Back doors.
Frank Monaco, 60 Thackeray, Oakland. On this reassessment, no matter how it's worked out, back in 2006 or whatever it was, I'll take my house. Let's say my house was worth $150,000 to $200,000 more. Then all of a sudden, the market wiped out. I was lucky if I can get $500,000. So what did they do? Because they reevaluated, they weren't getting less money, the county and the town, so they just redid the numbers. Brought it back up, so it had no difference what your house was worth when you get a pencil and you start changing numbers and then charge the taxes that way. That's what they did. That was the same thing that happened when Riverbend was built. They overtaxed them, then when they got caught up and everybody was suing them, this town, a lot of people got hit with a heavy tax, if you remember, John, all right? Now, my question is,
The reserve.
if you do this now, we're still under the old evaluation. And you find out that our property is worth less. Are we gonna get a reduction in taxes? I mean, that would be a miracle, let's not, you know, right?
Yeah, I can't really say how the actual individual taxes will be
Scott,
for
can you
anybody.
come close to the
Yeah.
mic? It's in the
I'm
center.
sorry.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
That's okay. The individual taxes are something that's hard to, predict. It really depends on how a given property changes in relation to the average change that occurs. It's not really sure, how that's all gonna work mathematically.
How it's all gonna work mathematically is the citizens of Oakland are gonna get screwed again. Take my word for
but
it,
it's every town
all right?
that goes through this, not just
You're
Oakland.
right, let's not only say Oakland,
It's New Jersey.
okay? Yeah, and that's why everybody's moving out, all right? I refuse to move. I got it good here. You should have my neighbors. I sold my house. I put on a $10,000 tax for the neighborhood. They didn't want to buy it, don't get lost. And I sold it at my price. Anyway, put that aside. You've answered my question. No good is gonna come from this.
What happens if we don't do it? Tell them what happens.
Well,
You
effectively,
don't
the
listen to me.
state,
I'm
Forces
77
us.
years old.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell me anything between the state and the county.
All right, so everybody knows what would happen if we ignore the county and we refuse to do it.
the county has the authority, quite honestly, they have the authority to do the revaluation and
charges.
build the town
Yeah,
back.
they'll do it their way too.
I mean,
That's 3 times the amount. Okay, thank you, sir. I just
All right,
wanted to
thank you.
clear something up.
all
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
I
everyone.
have
Thank
a
you, Scott.
couple more questions, but not on this particular subject, so I'll wait
Thank you.
until you open it.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. All right, so next item is affordable housing. Richard?
You were sleeping?
We're going through the adoption of the ordinance?
Final adoption.
We did
That
that.
was done.
The zoning
That was
ordinance.
done, right? Okay, so amend the zoning ordinance for borders, right? So Naomi, do you want to take that?
Well, I thought we tabled that one.
We tabled it.
We tabled that.
Discussion of ordinance borders. We didn't do that.
We tabled it, and
We
we
tabled the
tabled the
short-term
short-term rentals.
Right, is that what this is?
That's
Yes.
part of that because that is the definition section, unless I'm
It's
mistaken. but-
called zone, oh, okay.
Right, see, there's a reference to the two,
Right, I was wondering why it was the same.
right, and one of them is just the
So this is
definitions.
tabled also.
Well, for a
You know
motion.
what?
Yes,
Yes,
tabled as well.
We were tabling that as well?
One depends on
Well, I think one depends on the other, no? Short-term rentals?
Well, I
So-
know Brian wanted to do it as two separate ordinances, and that's why one's on workshop,
Well,
one's
why
on
don't we
Thursday.
wait, why don't we
I think
wait,
we-
and we table the others, so why don't we wait
I
for
think we should
Brian?
definitely wait because they
Yes,
they
because
are
Graham
related
wants
to
to-
each other.
They are because-
Councilman Bennett wanted to speak
Yes,
with Brian.
that's fine.
Okay.
Then there's nothing else for workshop.
No, okay. Any new business?
Yes, I have something,
Yes.
Mayor. I was just observing, and I'm, as a student of history and loving our community's history, looking around, one thing that I noticed here in this room is that two of the portraits of mayors are not up here.
Yes.
And it would be really nice to get the headshot, professional headshot framed, and maybe do a little dedication ceremony and put up the two mayors'
I was
pictures so
told
we
they
don't have.
refused.
They refused.
Have we asked them again?
Have we asked them again? I plan on
Have we asked them again?
going, and I'll take the initiative. I think it's important for the history of this town. If all the other mayors are recognized,
Why is it two? I thought it was John Zabel, who's the other one?
Mayor Pacoli.
Oh, yeah.
Mayor Pacoli as
Right, I
well.
was told that they refused.
So we'll get, if it's not on file, we'll find a thing, headshot, and get it framed up and put it up and do a
Where's the
little
picture there?
Yeah, we could,
dedication.
we could
Just
rearrange.
like, yeah, rearrange. It'd be nice to get them straightened too. It's all nice and crooked over
You have
there.
one mayor's falling out of his frame over here.
Yeah, could be a little bit better
Yeah.
Leroy Wright.
to adjust
Where's Leroy?
frames.
Leroy's the one falling out of his frame.
Middle on
Yeah,
the top.
and there's some crooked ones too.
What with the cigarette? There was
Do you
one
know
with a
John Zabel?
cigarette.
I know Mayor Pacoli, former Mayor
I'll see him
Pacoli.
I know
Sunday.
Pacoli.
You don't know John
You can call
Zabel?
Butch Clue Zabel.
I-
Right, well, his
Hey,
house-
I just want to tell the story,
Oh, yeah, he's
get the other
falling
two
out of
mayors
the
in there.
frame.
I'm not arguing. Zabel's selling his house, so I don't know if he's moving, so you might want to act quick.
This would be
Yes.
good. So you're going to see him?
I'll
Mayor?
see
Some-
Pacoli on Sunday.
Okay, so we'll take care of
I yelled at
that.
him a couple of times already, but maybe this
Hopefully, if
time.
you want to do it, it'll be nice and positive and upbeat and a feel-good
Some
thing
people
for our
also
community.
straighten out all these
Thank you.
frames,
Yes.
so they'll be straight
Straight, and how nice will that be?
instead of, yeah,
'cause
you're
quite
right,
frankly-
Leroy is falling out of the frame.
Leroy's been falling out of the frame for the last 3 years.
Mayor, I'm going to actually refuse to come to any more meetings until they're all straight.
Well, just to piggyback on that a little bit.
You're not coming either?
Then they might be all be
With
crooked.
my comments, no. We ordered a plaque also that has
Yes.
the name of all the mayors on it.
With the dates,
With-
because
with their dates.
it's very interesting to go and look at the dates.
So maybe we can do something that also, kind of incorporates a plaque unveiling here in the room at the same
I
time.
think it'd be very positive for our community. It'll be a feel-good event, and it'll be very nice, so
You
thank
should
you
also
for...
look for the old photo
entertaining
when Pete Kendall
the new
was
business.
mayor. He insisted that the whole council take a picture.
Oh, we have ours.
We have ours right there.
No, when Pete Kendall was mayor.
Yeah, that's old.
Did they have cameras back then?
Yeah, pictures right there.
Mistakes, it was in the 90s.
So, Mayor, while we're
And some
in
of those
Grant,
council people have died since then.
if you're
so
gonna
it would be
take on
nice.
this project of the room, maybe some of these other plaques that are 20 years old, maybe we've done something good since then, and we wanna put other stuff.
That's true.
So, I mean, I think this room,
At the same time, we could move these
There you
dice
go.
out so I could see you.
Right.
perfect.
Motion to make, I propose a motion to make Councilman Van Eck the
Decorating?
council chamber room guy.
Yeah, you're the
room coordinator.
decorator.
And he has to bend out the,
Yes, you're gonna move the days out so we can see each other.
we want the days to be moved out this way,
It's too expensive.
so we
All
can
right.
see each other.
Any old business? Any other business?
Old business.
Mayor,
Do
just,
you have old business?
I guess it classifies as old business. Just regarding I just want to let everybody know the reason that we pulled the adoption of the Patriots Way Bridge alternate analysis off.
No one
off
even
the
knew.
agenda. What?
No, no. Go ahead.
No, we did it because I had reached out to Assemblyman Bob Ott, who graciously took me on a wild ride down to Trenton the other day, and introduced me to the Commissioner of the New Jersey DOT. And following that short conversation, kind of came away with the idea that there may be some options for us in order to get Patriots
Right.
Way Bridge done. So I sat down with Mr. Yukimic and Rich here, and we had a little brain session this afternoon. And while we still may have to do that in the future because of the expense of it, we're going to try a different avenue so that we can try and get funding and not have to write a check for $4.5 million. So
Very good.
I want to
Good,
thank
thank
That's excellent.
Rich for sitting down with me and John for sitting down with me at the last minute, and I think we got somewhere. That's it.
Oh, thank you. All
Old
right.
business. Oh,
You're still on old or not committee business?
Old business.
Okay.
I know we all got recent communication regarding the traffic study. I know the memo said that they did award the contract to do the traffic study and that we were put on the list. I just hope we're not on the bottom of the list because, again, as I said, it's imperative that we get the traffic study done before they repave Ramapo Valley Road, so that if there's any changes we can make, we could restripe, at an appropriate time, rather than pass up the opportunity. So
Yes.
it might help. It's not gonna fix the traffic problem, but it might help the flow through town.
Thank you.
Just so I did follow up with her, with the county.
Yes.
She did have the flu for about 5 days, which is the reason she didn't get back. She did get back, but she has not yet given me an idea of what the date is.
Okay.
She just said they were awarded in, I think it was late February, actually there. Talk to that guy.
I left a message with Nancy this afternoon. Please give me a call on the traffic study for the downtown as soon as possible.
Because I don't know if we have a date for the repaving
No.
of Ramapo Valley Road yet, but obviously, we want the traffic study done.
And plus, I sent her an email, I believe it was last week, explaining precisely why we need this traffic study as soon as possible.
Because I mean, I could be wrong, but I think 287 had a tremendous impact on the traffic in this town.
Do you know when
because
they,
the
I was
people-
on the council when they built 287, and the state kept saying, oh, it's going to alleviate all the traffic.
Yeah. The problem is there is no entrance or exit from Oakland to New York border.
Yes.
Now, if there was one in the middle, like in Mawa, possibly, the traffic flow would be less. And I'm
It was
hoping,
supposed to have been Mawa.
I'm hoping that in the traffic study, they consider this corridor between Franklin Avenue and Oak Street, right? I hope they consider that because, to me, a lot of the traffic is coming from the north down to us in the south. We're getting dumped on, and most of them go on 287. So,
And the feeling at the time was they would get off in Mawa and the trucks would still come down.
so hopefully we can prove to the state that it is 287 and possibly get some.
It's not the state, we're trying to get the traffic study from the county.
No, I'm saying, I'm hoping.
The state is
Drug
actually,
source.
the state is granting the county
Yes.
the money to do the
Yes.
traffic study.
But
I
I'm
understand.
hoping that the data will prove to them that it
Yes.
did cause a lot of traffic problems here in town, and then hopefully maybe they'll correct it. I don't know how they're
They're
gonna
not
correct it, but.
Well, a couple things, just to
Sure.
bring up, so, number one, when the state concocted this intersection of West Oakland Avenue, Route 202, Yapah Avenue, 2 entrances and 2 exits for Route 287, or 2 exits for Route 287. The original concept was, number one, coming southbound on 202, there was not supposed to be a left turn onto Yapah Avenue, because they felt that the stacking lane, and again, John, I'm gonna ask you to just stop me when because I'm trying to remember what the information that Gary Askeles gave us
So far, so good.
a year or two ago. The stacking lane from where you make the right turn from West Oakland onto 202 South, to where the left turn on Yapah is, they felt was not long enough to provide adequate traffic flow. So the original design said 202 South to Yapah was no left turn. It's part of the reason that bypass behind the post office was built. Oak Street was supposed to be the bypass around Yapah. So if you were coming north on 202 and you wanted to go up Yapah, you could go around to keep traffic out of that intersection. And if you were coming south on 202 and wanted to go up Yapah, you would have to either go Maple, go around and go
I
up,
wish you
or
would find, all you have to do is find the Eurosec plans of the 90s.
well, let me.
You will see everything.
I'm gonna finish, so give me 1 second. Or you were supposed to go down to Oak, make the left and go back up around.
But East
Wait.
Oak was put in the 70s.
Come
Yes,
out-
but you
Right,
have to go
but it
look
was-
at the Eurosec plans, plural, of the 90s, and you will see all this.
The other
That's
part,
when 287
the other
was
part of
built.
this puzzle was that there was a design created for an alternate downtown access, which would have taken northbound exit 58 at the traffic light there where it comes into West Oakland, and you would have been able to go straight across that onto Terhune,
Right.
and that would have been your way to go south on 202. In other words, you would have kept the traffic off of where it is right now, because part of the biggest part of that problem, I've been told, is that crazy right turn you have to make from West Oakland onto 202 south, and then trying to get over onto Yappo to make the left. That stacks the traffic up all the way down.
There was also supposed to have been a bypass road. If you
That's
go
what we just said.
behind the rec field.
Well, it's
That
supposed to
was
go all the way down.
It was the bypass road
Right.
because that was going to alleviate traffic going to the rec field. Because you couldn't get down to, you recall, you couldn't get down to the rec field. If you go, it's probably all in the basement of the senior center, all those plans from the 90s.
I have the plans for the alternate access.
See, what I can't understand is, Bobby, and you may know this, when you go to the fire academy in Mawa, and you, what would that be, Darlington Road, I guess, you go over a bypass, an overpass for 287.
All right, I was here
I don't see
during
why-
those,
I don't see why that-
if you listen
that
to me,
couldn't
I
be
was
made.
here, I was on the council during those discussions. And Marge Rockamo was our congresswoman, and she was fighting for us, but Mawa had some extra pull. And Mawa's the one who said they didn't want that extra exit. It was originally, 287 was originally supposed to be on the other side of the river. And Rowe, Congressman Rowe, was Congressman?
Bob Rowe?
Bob Rowe from Wayne lobby did not want 287 near his town.
Well, I'm
in
just
his
saying.
area. And Marge Rockamo was on the other side of the river helping us, and then Mawa came in. Originally, that was supposed to have been an exit right by Ramapo College.
Mm-hmm.
They fought it, they said it was going to be a detriment to the Ramapo College, da-da-da-da-da-da, and Mawa got away with closing it off.
There's a cemetery there. What the hell
I'm
kind of
telling you, when it crosses
what
over
detriment would it be to
202,
the cemetery?
It
huh?
was crossing over 202,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they fought it, and we got stuck with it.
But I'm just saying, again, I'm hoping that the traffic study will give us enough information to go back to the state and say, you said that you were gonna put a bypass road, you didn't do it. You said you were gonna be an exit in Mao, you didn't do it. This probably or possibly could prove them wrong.
This is just gonna be a traffic count. They're gonna take the intersections. I don't even think they're going to Franklin, John. I think, didn't she
Wait a minute,
say
didn't-
from?
just a traffic count?
Yes, this is a study to do a traffic count. Once you get the counts, then we're gonna have to have an analysis done.
Could be a lot of work, but we have to be, we have to persevere on this.
Well, I'm saying we need to get it done.
Yes.
John, what would we have to do after the traffic study?
Meet
Do
with
an
the county.
analysis?
Traffic count.
Get a comparative analysis.
Basically, do an analysis, see where the high volumes are turning, not occurring, and then take a look at the striping and see if it makes sense based on what the traffic is actually doing.
I'm also wondering, and again, this might be off the wall. During, like, I live on Ramapo Valley Road, from 3:30 to 6:30, I was just telling my wife tonight, the traffic is way backed up, way past my house, back
Yes.
up to the gas
Yes, I
station.
don't go on 202
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock.
I'm just wondering if the traffic counts would show us that, could we increase the time of traffic flow north-south during the rush hour and then put it back, have it go, I mean, everything is done by the computer, I wouldn't
You mean
see.
the traffic light sequencing?
Yeah, not the sequencing.
I mean, less time coming up 287.
Yeah, well, whatever, more time on the traffic light going north and south.
As I understand
Maybe
it, here's what happens. The traffic lights on
I know.
Franklin and 202, that traffic light is set to rest on 202. When it picks up traffic,
Coming up the
3 or
highway.
4 cars up Franklin, I think that's what triggers the light sequence.
And what triggers it is
And
coming up
then-
the exit.
And then once you get up to the
exit does,
exit,
yeah, I didn't know
that
that.
does the same thing. But that light is also designed to rest on 202. I think, John, they're all designed to rest on 202.
And then it goes back to the sequence.
And then
Well,
it goes into a cycle.
The priority movement is to get traffic off
Off
the
the
main
highway.
line. You don't want people on the exit ramp backing up onto 287. So the signals are,
I've been
give
there,
that
and I
movement
worry
the priority to get people off
Right.
of that exit ramp onto Route 202. So that gets the priority. Like I said, you know, we could get once we get the traffic counts, we could get the timing sequence from the state, take a look at it, see what makes sense. As you know, part of our problem here is we have two different jurisdictions. We have the state and we have the county.
And ours.
And my suspicion is that the two are not talking to one another.
Oh,
And
there's
that's part of
another,
the
there's
problem.
another.
But then we
light.
gotta have a
Wait,
meeting
there's
with them
another
and
light.
show them the data to prove to them.
Linda, you remember back,
Councilman Knapp, there's another light that I was not aware of because I don't go to ShopRite in the middle of the night, but the light,
Blinks
blinks. Did you know
by the
that?
Burger King, yeah,
I didn't know, I'm never there.
yeah.
And the manager of ShopRite stopped me this weekend and said, do you know how many accidents there are because of the blinking light? Why is it a regular light during the night? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know that it's a high accident intersection.
The manager of ShopRite stopped me. I'm never there in the middle of the night.
I'd be happy to ask the police.
Thank you. Okay, now.
I don't know how he would know, he's there 9 to
if
5.
you remember, bringing up what John just brought up, back in 2013, we had a state
Right.
engineer come in, and he tried to regulate with small computer systems in each one of the traffic boxes, so they would all go back to the world clock satellite and try to put them in sequence, but what screws everything up, every time a train comes through, it throws the whole sequence out.
Yes.
But he did fix it so at 2 o'clock in the morning, it readjusted itself. But it gets thrown out when a train comes through. But they all 4 traffic boxes have a computer system which links them together. The 2 from the county and 2 from the state.
Well, we have,
Train underground.
John, we have different legislators now, who
And a better
could be,
world clock.
who could be more friendly to us
Who know the world
than the
clock?
past.
Yes.
No,
He said he knows the
more
world
so,
clock?
there might be a better technology out there.
Correct, exactly.
After 7, 8 years that we've been trying to do this, but what I would suggest is we get the traffic study when it's completed, and then get a pre-287 traffic study and compare.
Oh, that's a good.
One of the.
That's what you want to do. That's you want to show.
From
this-
the
Isn't-
90s.
Isn't there
Right.
technology that other cities and towns have used in other counties of predictive analytics that help regulate
Yes.
the lights and time it better for actual traffic flow versus some standard time?
I talked with the DOT traffic signal engineer last year. There's a system called the adaptive signal system. It is currently being used by the DOT in Fort Lee at the entrance to the George Washington Bridge. And that is the only location that this person knew of. He didn't see a reason why it could not be implemented in Oakland. So it's
Oh, I
all-
read about it in Fort Lee.
All the data that we currently have is 20, 30, 40 years old.
Can we,
So-
can I just suggest that let's get the count?
Yes.
And then let's take it to the next step, because
Okay.
we're all bouncing
guessing,
ideas off
right.
of each other.
Okay.
None of us are
I called
qualified.
Nancy today.
Okay.
So-
Speaking on that topic, I guess, old business, I brought it up last meeting. I think, John, you have an update, we spoke briefly. The coming out of the Columbia Bank, Starbucks, Walgreens Plaza, you can make a right to get back on the 287 north and south. A lot of people, I think, are making lefts to get on 280 north and south, and that's
Yeah.
causing some of this backup in this traffic. And you had an update?
Well, we talked about this at the planning board meeting. I was able to find a site plan to see if it's required by them to put it up. I did not see it on there. Quite frankly, the simple thing to do is to have perhaps the police department call our representative at the state and say, hey, put up a shield that says 287 this way, for the state to put
Yeah,
that up,
yeah.
rather than
Rich?
have the developer put it up.
Rich, you got that?
So I could
Yeah, I'll follow
talk
up with
to the chief about it, or Rich and I could talk to the chief
Okay,
about it.
thank
I
you.
want to thank you very much, John.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Council committee reports. Councilman Knapp.
Okay. You don't usually start with me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm good.
I'm all confused.
No, I'm good.
Councilman Vanette, you want to start?
I'm here.
Go ahead.
I got it.
Why don't we start with Councilman Pignatelli?
I'm sorry?
The roll off guard. You want to start?
No, he's gonna start.
I thought he was gonna start.
I didn't say anything.
For the
Then he's
police
gonna
department, January's numbers, which will also obviously fall under year-to-date numbers. Motor vehicle stops 427, radar details 24, traffic enforcement details 7, for a total of 538 summonses issued. In addition to that, they performed 72 school checks. That's going inside, and that's also, they do numerous times throughout the day. They do drive-by in their marked vehicles just to show police presence throughout the day. Also answered 44 burglar alarms and responded to 36 motor vehicle crashes. For the first aid squad, they responded to 62 calls for 124 hours, and their total hours for the month, which counts training and on-duty time, was 1,159. For the fire department, 20 responses for 170 hours, and only a total of 186 hours for their response and training and drill time. Now, as far as Great Oak Park, we had a meeting last night. Was that last night, Mike? That was last night, right? So a couple things that are going on there. The Swords to Plowshares art statue that Peter Marklis is wanting to put in the park. He's going to start construction on that in mid to late March. The entrance road behind Portobello's and the office building is set to be paved within the 2020 annual road program. So that's all been worked out. The dog park plans are complete. They need to go to the Environmental Commission Tuesday?
Next Tuesday.
I think he said it was next Tuesday. Then back to the park committee for our final stamp, and then we hope to get it on the March 25th council meeting for us to approve the plans for the dog park, and then they're ready to start moving. The Great Oak Lawn is in process with a whole bunch of trees and benches and things to that nature. And John, do you have anything on the band shell?
Yes, I'm working on a proposal. I'd like to have that on the agenda for the next meeting. I guess that would be
March 11th, yeah.
March 11th.
It's not on my calendar, but it's March 11th.
But it's, now that the parking lot component of that has been removed, I've been working on that actively over the last couple of days, and I expect to have that into Rich within the next couple of days.
Okay, my only other thing was I finally had a meeting that I was able to attend with the Municipal Alliance. Not the most exciting things going on, but they've got their project graduation for 2020 going on and all their other events. There was something that was mentioned to me about the seniors being able to take advantage of something from the Municipal Alliance that they haven't done in the past. So I have Sergeant Piercy reaching out to John Bialy to, there's just a small amount of money available for when they have a speaker. But, you know, whatever they're entitled to, they should get, so,
I have a question on the dog park.
yes, ma'am.
I mean, you're doing all this planning. Who's going to monitor, is that part of the plan? Who will monitor it after the fact, once it's open?
Well, when it's open to the public, it's open to the public. There's nobody stands by and watches it.
Well, who cleans up? Because that's
The
where the
individual
dogs
people
go.
are supposed to.
Isn't that where the dogs go?
Yeah, you're supposed to clean up after your dog.
Well, who checks to see that they do?
The dog
Dog poop inspector.
police people. All right, I make
Well,
a
if they're
I make a
caught-
motion, we hire a dog pooping
If they're
resource
caught,
officer.
then they could lose their access
Is that
to the-
fine? Do they get fined?
No, I think that there's rules of the dog.
I don't know, I don't have a dog, so I don't know.
So like, I've gone to the dog park in Franklin Lakes and Wayne, and it's just, you know, they have the dispenser there with the bags.
And garbage cans.
So you just take care of it. Most dog owners know that, and those that don't, you know, they look just like letting a dog go in the rec field. They're gonna ruin it for others.
And the DPW picks up the garbage there?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, a suggestion might be the council president is in charge of the dog park,
I agree, I second the motion.
you know, Cooper Scooper Patrol. I don't.
And as council president, I delegate Councilman Pignatelli my proxy.
Do you have a dog?
No.
Oh.
They're perfect. That way you don't have to worry about any kind of favoritism.
I'm allergic to dogs.
It's done.
I'm
All right.
allergic to
It's
dogs.
outside your.
Mayor,
Council
I'm-
leave, you have
I'm
a
finished.
report?
Thank you.
Actually, I do not. The Shade Tree Commission will be meeting the first Monday at Borough Hall at 7 o'clock. The Flood Commission will be meeting on the second Monday at Borough Hall at 7:30. And
technically the capital projects, we gave the information about Patriots Way Bridge, so
Okay, thank you.
take it away.
Councilman Pignatelli.
You're on the air.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to remind people, the Bergen County Utilities Authority Household Hazardous Waste Disposal event is going, the first one is, going to be March 7th in Moonachie. The second one is going to be April the 5th at Paramus. And the third one is going to be in Mawa at Camp Gore on May 9th. That's a Saturday. It's from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Do not bring electronics, paper shredding, or tires to the hazardous waste collection. This is extremely important. Old paint, old herbicides, insecticides, pesticides, anything that's hazardous, bring it to them. I even think they collect fluorescent light bulbs, because when I was there, they were collecting fluorescent light bulbs too. That's extremely important. Last night I met with the Green Team. They did discuss the Flow Film Festival that the mayor already discussed. Mayor, did you say one of the films is going to be on Flint, Michigan water problem? Yeah, that's going to be on the film. Both films are about 20 minutes each. There's a lot of talk about the census that's going to be conducted in the United States this year, and that's going to be conducted between March 12th and July. The Bergen County, we applied to Bergen County, again, Michael, who is the assistant to our borough
Not you,
administrator.
Michael. No, different Michael.
Sorelli, Michael Sorelli. He's applying to Bergen County for a grant, for a census outreach grant, which they hope to set up a kiosk at the library. Roots for Rivers, April the 4th and 5th, there's going to be a program to remove invasive weeds at the park, and then when they get the additional trees for planting, they'll be planting them at a later date. I'm sure you're going to be very happy, Mayor. The Green Team is very confident that we will achieve silver.
Wow.
On the wellness. We think we might be able to collect a little over 400 points. I think we need 350. I think 370 or 380 is a sure thing or shoe-in.
Thank you, Green Team.
But yes, they're really working
They work
very,
hard.
very hard. And I have to say, another compliment to Mike Sorelli. I'm not kidding you. I'll bet you 75% of the list Michael has to get resolutions and tonnage amounts and all. He never says no.
Why do you think I haven't go to the meetings for?
Yeah, but no, he never says no. He could have 50 things. If they say, Michael, could you do this one more thing? He says, yeah, sure, and he writes it
Are
down.
they,
And he gets it
are
done.
they investigating what happened with the charging stations?
They're still investigating that?
Yeah, they had a meeting last night on that, actually, to kind of pick that up fresh.
Yes.
I know we got a couple of additional quotes to consider.
Oh, good.
And there was some additional discussion last night.
And a very, very important thing for the Green Team, they need a secretary to take minutes. There's a paid stipend, small that it might be, but there is a stipend. The meetings last about an hour and a half, something like that, and you send out the agenda. It's really not that complicated, but, if anyone's interested in picking up.
Pat, right now that position does not exist for the Green Team, or the Environmental Commission.
No, the Green Team.
No, the position does not exist for the Green Team. It does exist for the Environmental Commission, and that will be going vacant at the end of March. We are doing an internal recruitment right now, and seeing if anybody is interested. If nobody internally is interested, we'll be putting that out to the public in the next 2 weeks.
I stand corrected by the man.
Now, are there
heads
still
all those things.
Otherwise,
vacancies?
we don't have money, you know, I'm authorized.
Are there still vacancies?
Take that last one back, people.
Are there still vacancies on the Environmental Commission?
Yes, I think there's one more, and I was going to bring that up next. There's one more member that's going to be submitting
Oh, good.
an application, a form. So that's for the Green Team. And for the Board of Health, we met on Tuesday, February the 18th, not the 19th.
Good.
It wasn't a Wednesday and it wasn't the 19th. I made a mistake last time. Anyway, They met Tuesday, February the 18th. There was a couple of discussions with a couple of restaurants in town regarding some code violations, and there was a misunderstanding with one, and the other one admitted that they need to spruce up things a little bit. And I'm sorry, to go back to the green team, I forgot, I put it down at the bottom, unfortunately. The green team is always looking for members. Please contact Carol Peterson at greenteam@oakland-nj.org for more information on how you can get involved. And on their website, greenteam@oakland-nj.org, they list all the things they do. And there's a list of a good 15 or 20 items that you might be very interested in several of them. And you'd be a tremendous asset to help the green team achieve these goals. That's it, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Council update report for the seniors. Line dancing will continue in February on Fridays, March 6th, on Friday, March 6th, and the 20th with our volunteer instructor Edith at 2 p.m. There is no pre-registration. County Clerk John Hogan will be visiting the Senior Center on Thursday, March 5th. That's next Thursday, the one after tomorrow. John's topic of discussion will key on what his office can provide to our senior residents, and he also will be distributing golden discount cards to seniors who don't have them as yet. The weekly movie schedule continues every Monday at 1:30. I don't have the movie for this coming Monday, and neither did Ariel, so we were both without knowledge about that. The Senior Center will be hosting a trivia game on March 25th at 1:30. The canceled December casino trip to Wind Creek Casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania has been rescheduled for Tuesday, March 31st. Those who registered for the trip in December 2019 are already registered for the March date. Ariel will reach out to those previously registered to confirm their attendance. There are still some seats available on the bus, which will leave the Senior Center at 9 a.m. on the 31st of March. If you're interested, you can call Ariel or visit her at the Senior Center. We are currently taking names of those interested in a weekly men's poker game, as well as taking names of those interested in a weekly knitting and crocheting circle, but they won't be done concurrently. There will be planting and wood crafting project with our men's club on Tuesday, March 17th at 1 p.m. Those interested are asked to RSVP by March 13th in order to allow time to purchase materials.
Councilman, could you just tell us what time John Hogan's coming?
John Hogan will be there at 12 p.m. And if you could be there, Mayor, because I will be out of town.
Well, I'll be coming from court, so that's why I wanted to know.
Okay. Maybe Lisa can go meet the county clerk.
I'll be in Florida.
Okay.
You'll be in Florida? Nice.
Okay. Update report for the DPW. The 2020 street sweeping program is scheduled to begin on Monday, March 2nd. Every borough-owned road is scheduled to receive the first of 2 mandated annual street cleanings before the end of April. Additionally, all school routes, borough-owned parking lots, the downtown area, along with roadways directly connecting to Municipal Plaza and Recreation Complex, will be swept on a monthly basis. Our Superintendent of Public Works has been working with Rockland concerning issues with the current LED lights. To date, we are taking advantage of Rockland LED conversion streetlight program by installing more than 80 fixtures since the program began in 2016. At this time, we are again asking our residents for suggestions on locations to be considered, and suggestions can be sent by email to Superintendent Marcuselli at dpw@oakland-nj.org or by calling 201-337-8103, extension 3003. As reported previously, I had been in touch with BPU Commissioner Bob Gordon and attended the meeting of community leaders and stakeholders at Thomas Edison University in Trenton to discuss LED streetlight conversions and the tariffs, which dictate the rules and regulations regarding the LED streetlights. I have received some very favorable feedback on comments and suggestions I offered at the meeting. I am hopeful that all the comments offered to the BPU will result in positive changes in regulations on these installations. My written comments were actually circulated among all the BPU commissioners following that meeting. The Public Works crew have begun this year's continuous pothole repair program. Crews have been out identifying and repairing potholes throughout the borough. Public Works has repaired 634 potholes since the beginning of the year. Residents are reminded to report pothole locations by filling out a service request on the borough website or by calling the Public Works Service Building at 201-337-8104. Due to the mild winter, we are currently enjoying the Water Department employees were able to get an early start on work associated with the NJDEP Water Quality Accountability Act. You may notice DEP crews out flushing and inspecting fire hydrants, exercising mainline valves, and making general water system repairs throughout the borough. We want the residents to understand that this work will in no way affect water quality or cause a disruption to the water service. We've been working and meeting with John Yakimic on the Ramapo Valley North Sidewalk Project, which is well underway. And we've also, I believe we're going out to bid, or gone out to bid, Rich, on the bulletin board?
Bulletin board is out to bid. Bid opening is in a couple weeks.
Okay, very
or
good.
so. Yeah.
So we're moving
Yes,
right along.
we're gonna have
And-
a modern bulletin board.
A modern new bulletin board on Ramapo Valley Road. And that's my report.
Thank you,
Mayor,
Councilman.
thank you.
All right, thank you, Mayor. The Oakland Communications Commission's next meeting is March 2nd at 7:30, right here in the council chambers. Still looking for 2 new commission members and TV committee members. So if you're interested, please email occ@oakland-nj.org. Ideas for newsletter stories. Want to nominate an Oakland unsung hero? Please email us at oaklandcrossroads@gmail.com. The report for the Rec Commission, the baseball and softball signups will continue until March 15th. This is really important because after March 15th, it'll cost $30 more, and there's no guarantee that you'll have a spot on a team. So for baseball and softball, please register your child by March 15th. Lacrosse signups for K-2 are ongoing, and it's oaklandrec.org to sign up. Info on the Recreation Commissioner summer sports camps, cheer, football, baseball, softball, and basketball. It's all on the website, and the camp info will be posted in the coming weeks, so please look out for that. For the planning board, there's some change in the meeting schedule. So the next planning board meeting's on schedule March 12th, but they moved the April and May meetings to the first Thursday of the month, so that'll be April 2nd and May 7th. So that's April 2nd and May 7th are the new meeting dates. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'm sorry.
You forgot something?
I forgot something. This year I was given an additional committee assignment, which I'm not used to reporting on. That's the public events, which I think is important. There are a couple of important
Oh, it's not
announcements.
Brad, it's you.
Yes, it's me this time. That's why I forgot all about it, and I beg your indulgence. Oakland Community of Commerce is reforming. They're making new contacts, and they want to help with town programs. Fever Pitch is going to be June 6th, 2020. They passed and agreed to purchasing 3 additional pole ornaments for the holidays at $499 each, because now they're half price. So
3 poles?
3 pole ornaments, you know, the
ornaments.
star or whatever
Oh.
you want, I guess a snowflake, I don't know if it's a snowflake or a star, one or the other. But anyway, so they agreed to pay for that, the three. Easter, Saturday, April 4th is the egg hunt. At 9 a.m. is the bouncy house, but the egg hunt doesn't start until 9:30. So that's a change this year. 9 a.m. bouncy house, 9:30 for the egg hunt.
And it says the rain date is Sunday, April 5th, but that's Palm Sunday, that's okay?
Yes, evidently.
Well, I'm,
Yeah.
Get your palm early and come to the Easter egg hunt.
that's okay then.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay,
If there's a change, we'll let you know next month,
okay,
and which will be before Easter.
right. Is that it?
That's it, Mayor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Really? You sure?
Positive, but that's an extra thing you gave me to do
Do
this
you
year.
want to check on the bottom of the paper, make sure there's nothing else on there, just so you...
Okay, at this point, motion open to the public.
Motion moved.
Second? No second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hello, Mike Guadagnino, 34 Hopper Street. Chair of the Great Oak Park Committee. I did a great job, telling what went on last night, just to kind of fill in some loopholes in the question we need to, Bobby asked me to come here to bring it forth to the council, mayor and council. Just so you know, we reorged last night, and in all likelihood, this will be our final year. We'll come here and say we need time to dissolve at the end of the year, the committee. We're expecting to have infrastructure done, because the roads are being done, the band shell will be done, the dog park will be done, and we're planning on, at that time when we disband, basically turning things over to the Rec Commission and the Environmental Commission. Already, the Environmental Commission,
So who will be in charge of the band shell concerts?
that's what I was just gonna say, Mayor, thank
Oh, I thought you were saying it's all done.
you. No, I said this year.
Infrastructure is done.
The infrastructure is done. We're going, the Environmental Commission has already taken their lead in taking care of the environment and doing the routes for rivers and such. The Rec Commission we've been talking about, it's going to be happening with the band shell is that in all likelihood, the Rec Commission will take over the running of the band shell, the way we run the field. It's Parks and Recreation, so we just fall within the, I guess, the auspices of the Rec Commission. And we'll put up a schedule, but we assume by the summer, the infrastructure will be done, and in the back half of the summer, we'll come up with an exit strategy along with communicating with the mayor and council and how that's going to take place. Now, for the dog park, as Councilman Knapp said, the plans are basically done. The Environmental Commission is looking over just to make sure there's anything, at the micro, not look at the macro anymore, just a couple of micro things they need to look at. Bring it back to us, and I assume most likely we'll be approving it and coming forth here on the final meeting of March to ask for the final approval of the dog park. To answer your question about what if someone doesn't clean up, well, people are going to have to register to allow to bring their dogs in there.
Oh.
And they'll have some type of a fob to get in, swipe, whatever comes, whatever's the best for the dog
Do you
park.
have to pay to get in?
There's gonna be some sort of a fee.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the fee will be used as a maintenance, will be used as maintenance we have to talk about some kind of trust to maintain the,
So will
maintain
there
the
be
park.
committee necessary to do that?
Well, it'll all fall on the Rec Commission, as we do with the fields. Right now, we rent the fields, so we have our trust, we rent the fields, and we use the funds for that. And the same thing would be with the band shell. We rent it out, we have to come up with some kind of fee schedule, and the money is, or the intent is to use it to maintain the park. So again, it won't cost anything. But going back to what someone messes it, what we have now with our fobs now for all our rec buildings, when something goes on, and we actually caught a couple people taking some things at the summer camp one time they weren't supposed to because we took the key and we have an access and we can find out who was in there. So let's say the mess happens on a Tuesday in the morning. We can just go back there and check and see who were these people who signed up, whose fob we gave a fob, and who was in there between that period of time. And we can kind of locate it and say, these 5 people are in there, be careful, clean up next time or everywhere.
And honestly, a lot of, if there's numerous people in there, somebody like me that does clean up after my dog, if I see you not, I'm gonna say something to you.
Right.
So I think it'll be self-police.
Self-police.
I've really never been in one that's out of control, and I've been in quite a few.
Are you happy?
Put signs up. Both as the master and, sometimes wife puts a leash on.
We expect, once the roads are done and the, I don't know what he's saying over there. Once the roads are done.
He's not going to repeat it, believe me.
Yeah, I know, it's okay. Once the roads are done and the band shell and the dog park, there's gonna be a lot of people in there, there's gonna be a lot of activity. The police will be able to get in and out of there. It's gonna be, that side of the park will be much more active, obviously, than it is now. And like I said, there'll be self-policing, that stuff will go well. One thing we need to ask is, which I know whenever we do this at the rec field, we need some sort of permission from the mayor and council. And that is if the plan is to put a sign up, like a welcome sign with all the sponsors, the people who have paid for, or gave large donations towards the dog park. We need to know what type of permission, what needs to be done so that when the time comes, the process to allow it. Councilman Knapp's got idea of what it's gonna look, kind of what it's going to look like.
You mean it goes around the dog park?
No, in the dog park, we just have a welcome sign.
Oh, with everybody's name on the
Signage.
dog, on this one sign?
No, we're not putting names on dogs, it's on the sign.
And also, you're gonna have a
It's
sign with
actually
a set
just
of
cool
rules.
what you want to do.
Yeah, that might be that, it might be, yeah, we're gonna have, well, yes. But the thing we need some sort of guidance or permission for from the mayor and council is
Don't
to
you only
allow
go in
this.
if you have a dog?
I'm sorry?
You only go in there if you have a dog.
Oh, it's more than the Great Oak Park than the dog park.
Yeah.
No, that's for the dog park.
Correct.
This will be by the entrance to the dog park.
Right, so that's for the dog park.
It'll still be in Great Oak Park, you might go to Great Oak Park.
But you're not gonna see the sign if you're not going to the dog park.
That's not true, you might walk right
No,
past the sign.
in all
past the dog
likelihood,
park.
and, well, unless you're near the dog park or somewhere close to it, that's when you'll see the sign. It's not gonna be a big, you know,
Yeah,
wild, not a big
think
Wawa
about
sign.
this. You're there, there's cute puppies in the dog
Okay.
park, you wanna go over and say hi.
You'll see the sign.
We figured out the water system.
You can bring your own water in.
Oh, you bring your own water for the
And you're gonna
dogs?
put a
Yeah.
box in there?
What kind of box?
Well, in all the county, I was involved in all the county dog parks. Like a box that you would put out by the pool to keep all your stuff in. Well, they do it in the county, and people bring treats, and they bring water dishes, and they keep it in there. So somebody else can come and use it, or use the treats, or use some food, or whatever. And you can't believe the life it takes on of its own with dog lovers.
That sounds like a great idea. And at the end of March, we come forward with the plan.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's on it or not. I don't remember that being on it,
I mean,
but it
they
might be on
share
it.
the food?
Actually,
Well, they leave boxes of food inside this box.
Oh.
Sounds like a great idea.
You know, the
Yeah.
plastic boxes they use I got one, I keep all my seat covers in and all of that stuff, but.
Storage
And the
box,
parks, they,
storage container.
One thing we gotta watch out for, one thing with the park, we have like every kind of animal you can imagine there. And at night, overnight, if we're gonna have boxes of food, we gotta be careful that's
But
gonna be
these,
sealed properly.
this box gets closed and locked, and somebody has a key to open it up, and, you know, you can use whatever's in there.
Okay.
I would tell you that.
And you keep your supplies,
It's like a
your extra
locker.
bags and everything.
Oh, yeah,
that goes in
okay.
there.
It sounds like a locker.
Mike, I'm down in the Morris Plains Dog Park a lot, and they actually, the place is, people donate, basically just leave old toys there. But one of the reasons is, you don't want to bring your dog and their favorite toy to a dog park with a bunch of other dogs, because that can start a problem. So there's, you know, there's balls that are laying around there that are not a dog's favorite toy. Yeah, community balls, community rope toys and things. It stops dogs from being, you know,
I've never been
aggressive.
to-
And also, you look for donations from site contractors who might have a piece of pipe left over to run through.
Thank you.
I mean, we have like
Oh, you
3
think-
foot,
Ryan's working on all kinds of, yeah, there's all types of apparatus.
yeah.
You know, I think you're gonna be very
Exercise
impressed with this plan, because as you know, he's worked on this for like, well, almost since he was born, basically, a long time, yeah, for a long time, since he was in 8th grade or something. So I think you'll be very happy with it. We had a question about that, I just want to kind of fill the loose ends of where we are with Great Oak Park, and we're coming to the 8-year process, coming to an end, and turning it over
So you're
to,
gonna have a big celebration at the band shell, a big concert.
we could have any kind of concert, any kind of,
Howl at the Moon.
what's that?
Howl at the Moon.
That could be the name of the first one.
Starring Lou Levy.
Starring Lou Levy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Hey,
Thank you very much.
I got that.
Frank Monaco, 60 Thackeray. What's the matter with Brian?
What's the matter?
He's right there.
He doesn't look that good. Is he sick or?
No, he had to be somewhere
That's all I
else.
care. I like that guy.
Usually he's on vacation, that's when he doesn't come, but he's just had to be at another meeting.
Okay. Can I get an explanation on the prohibit of short-term rentals? What does that mean?
The Airbnb. And so,
Prohibiting short-term rentals.
In what respect? Somebody's house?
Single-family homes.
And what will you consider a short-term rental?
30 days or less.
Huh?
30 days or less.
Thank you. It didn't say that here, I wanted to know.
well, that's why we had to table it, because
Oh, it's tabled?
Grant wants to work with our attorney on some ideas.
So it's tabled right now?
Yes.
Okay, and what about the the settlement on the affordable housing, what was that about? I must have missed something.
That was with, you want to talk about it?
Table that time.
That's with the Finale property.
No, we didn't table
Now,
it.
that ordinance was adopted.
Right, that was adopted.
Oh,
Yes.
that's right, I'm sorry.
Just to give you the short version, sir, what it is that in connection with the affordable housing litigation, we had an intervener, and that intervener is commonly referred to as Finale. And there was a settlement agreement between the borough and Finale that was just approved, thank you, that was just approved by Judge Farrington at the beginning of this week,
Okay,
on
so
February
it's just
25th.
approved.
So that settlement agreement is approved. The ordinance that was adopted by the governing body tonight is in furtherance of that settlement agreement. So basically what it does is that it identifies what's permitted in the newly created RA2 zone. It establishes the principal permitted uses, the accessory uses. It sets forth all the bulk standards in terms of your setbacks, your height, and the like. So that was the purpose of the adoption of tonight's ordinance. It's basically to implement the settlement agreement between Finale and the borough.
So there was some type of settle agreement, is what you're telling me?
It's always better to settle because you have more input. As you've been reading, I don't know if you've been reading the papers with all the towns that are in litigation over these lawsuits, and they walk away, and it's not good for the town.
Okay, fine, it was settled, but what did we give up?
We give up not going to court, that's what we gave up.
Oh, what did they demand, is what I'm
What
saying?
did
How
it
many
start,
houses?
what did Biden say? It started 600 and we're down to
I don't,
100 and something.
yeah, I don't have the
They
exact
wanted
numbers.
600 and we're down to
Units.
100 and something, I forgot
No,
the
if
actual.
you
Right,
go
but-
through
but-
the
Now, what is this on
specifics
affordable
dealing with this
housing?
ordinance.
I will.
And
How
where
many
is this gonna be
Law
located?
and affordable housing is
Jacoa
not low-cost
obligation.
housing, and that's what the misconception. Just because you hear the word affordable housing,
Doesn't mean it's affordable, I know that.
No,
But-
it's low affordable housing and low-income housing. This is affordable housing. It is not low-income housing.
And where is, are they,
Finale.
where is that?
Behind Indian Hills
McCoy.
football field on
McCoy.
County Road.
Oh, yeah, that's where they just put up,
His house, his trust, what was it, special needs housing,
So what it
Okay.
is, you want
Down
me
the
to?
block.
right
Address
next
the
door.
Down the
number
block, I
of
put the special needs
Right, now,
on McCoy and Colonial.
okay, John, yeah.
That's people.
All right, I got an idea where it is, okay.
You want me to say it?
So that's, we settled, kinda settled it, is what you're saying. Okay, now the next
Less is
thing.
best.
What was the problem with Boswell Engineering at the beginning?
What do you mean the problem?
Well, it seemed that they weren't happy with the decision or something.
That's Councilman Levy, you should have a talk with him later on.
I have to talk,
Later on? That's fine.
Yeah, because it's not a debate. So, he gave his reasons, you could give your reasons again.
I objected to some of the billing that was done,
oh, good.
the amounts and some of the instances, I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Oh, because I forgot to turn the
Well,
mic
that
on.
didn't
I
make
told
you-
you to keep it
And the
on.
microphone, please, yeah, but then I can't like have private conversations at the same time.
That didn't make you a bad guy, all right?
No, there's
Always question Bill.
many other things that make me a bad
But
guy.
I happen to, I'm here a long time, I guess.
Well,
you
let
are
me
too.
just, I just want to, and I'm going to say it again. This has nothing to do
Yeah,
with
okay.
John. John, I've been here through, I think that John will be the third engineer since I've been living in town, maybe the fourth. And, you know, honestly, by far and away, the best, a
I
professional.
kinda like him too.
We all do. And this is not about
Is
John.
that
This
all right, John?
That's fine, you're a Lodi guy, so.
Yeah, my issues have to do more with what Boswell's billing practices have been as far as, in my opinion, not being in our best interest.
No,
in
no
the best
argument,
interest of
good. That's what I wanted to know, I didn't pick up on that, right? It's always good to question your pennies, because they grow into nickels.
These are not pennies. We're
I
not
know,
talking-
I know. Thank you very much, it
It's
was
always
good
to
seeing you
see
all.
It's good to see you back.
Johnny? Who knows when?
Frank and I go way back.
Are we
Yes.
No, we're not calling him Johnny.
Frank used to have the best produce stand in Oakland,
Yes.
New Jersey.
With W's.
Good night, everybody.
Good
And
night.
when you see Brian, tell him I send my regards.
I will.
Yes.
Can we call him Richie?
No,
Vic Pedalino, 52 McNomee Street. I know that we've tabled the short term. What happened to ordinance 59?
It's all together.
They're putting that together?
Yes, so Grant had asked us to table it. It's just tabled so that he could work with some wording with Brian, our attorney, who's not here tonight. But it's coming back, come back next week. I mean, not next week.
2 weeks.
Next meeting. We didn't forget about it, we just want to tighten it up, the wording. Sometimes, you need to tighten it. Motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who is doing the bills to be paid?
Total bills already paid,
Oh, him, that's right.
That's the answer.
$3,772,353.34. Bills to be paid, $644,842.34.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Councilman Bialy.
Yes.
Councilman Net.
Yes.
Councilman Levy.
Yes.
Councilman Pimentel.
Yes.
Councilman Van Act.
Yes.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next meeting will be here March 11th. See you then.
Hey, Mayor, quick point of order.
No.
If you motion to adjourn,